Hi, I'm Janelle Tedesco. Start walking with me. Okay, so welcome to Just 10 with Janelle. Today we are going to be doing a walking workout. So this is what we're doing. We're just doing this the whole time. Oh my gosh, that's so boring. It is, right? Sometimes walking is boring. We love when we have the opportunity to go for a walk on the beach, go for a walk with a scenic, beautiful view. If we have great music to listen to, that's great. But sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I just need to move my feet. I need to get in some steps. I don't have time to go outside. It's my lunch break and I need to work more. 10 minutes, right? But how am I gonna keep you from getting bored? I'm gonna try something new today. I'm gonna tell you a little story. Maybe it's interesting, maybe it's not. It's certainly cool. I mean, especially if you watch the Muppets. Did you watch the Muppets as a kid or now? I don't know. My kids actually still search on YouTube for all sorts of different things. Like they really like Beaker, and oh goodness, oh no, I'm not gonna start trying to name Muppets. All right, I'm just not gonna do it because I didn't practice which Muppets I was gonna reference. I really like it when Beaker sings Feelings. But Ode to Joy is probably my favorite. Oh my gosh, you have when Beaker does Ode to Joy, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So there we go. I guess I'm plugging that video right now. But Sesame Street and the Muppets, I grew up watching them and I loved them, right? So I always used to think like, is that just like really easy just to puppeteer, to just like do that? Is that easy? Is that really hard? And I think I eventually ended up just thinking, it's probably pretty easy. You just have to do well, I can't do it and walk at the same time, or maybe I can. All right, well, let me get to my story here. So I'm an actress and a voiceover artist and all that kind of stuff. And so a filmmaker friend of mine, I've never worked with him, but he comes up to me and he says, you know, I'm making a puppet movie and I need voiceovers for the characters. Would you like to do the voice of the leading female in the film? I said, I would love to, that would be great. So I was excited and I thought that was it. And then he said to me, and if you would like to learn how to puppeteer, I could teach you. And I was like, yes, I would absolutely love to learn how to puppeteer. So over this summer, I had some lessons, right? It started out the very first time I was like, okay, that really hurts your upper arm. So when you get your hand into the puppet, you think that you can just go like this, like whenever you're puppeting. I think I even just did that now. I was like, wah, wah. Well, if I did this, then my eyes are facing straight up. See, I'm still walking. Just keep walking with me, right? The eyes are facing straight up and the mouth is like opening to the ceiling. So you have to kind of do this with your arm, and it's always going to be up over your head. And because if you're filming this, right, you have to get it as high as you possibly can because you've got to get your head out of the frame. So it also often ends up looking like you're doing it like this. And your arm is like this, so that's kind of hard on your forearm. And then you're doing this and you got to squeeze the little mouth together and you're going to turn them. And then you have your other hand where you're moving his little arm on the stick, his or her. All right, so the first class I was like, oh, wait, there's one other thing that's weird. So you also get to watch yourself in a monitor because you can't be looking up at it and see yourself, right? Half the time you're like under a table or a bed or something weird. So when you're looking at yourself in the monitor, it's opposite. So when you turn your head left, you see it on the monitor turning right. So I was like, oh man, this is tricky. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I just opened up my legs a little bit, but I'm still walking. Just walking along, just moving my feet. So I realized pretty quickly that it was harder than I thought it was gonna be. But I was practicing and I was like, okay, I got this. This is pretty cool. And we had a few more lessons. I got a practice puppet to take home. I named him Mongo. And Mongo was pretty small and pretty maneuverable. So then came the time where I got to actually practice with Lulu. Lulu was the puppet that I was voicing. And I thought it was just my character, the one that I was going to puppeteer. Lulu was bigger and heavier. She was built different. Her head and her body were like not as connected. They were like, so it just, everything about how it worked was different. And I could do it for about 2 minutes and then my arm would get super sore. And so then I was trying to think if I could figure out some type of workout for puppeteering. I was like, okay, is there some way I can do like a forearm workout? I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know if it was interesting or fun or weird or all of the above to get forearm workouts for puppeteering, and other exercises like rock climbing really uses your forearms. Rock climbing and puppeteering, who knew that there were similarities, right? So now I'm practicing with Lulu and I'm realizing it's way harder than I thought. But I'm practicing every day and I'm getting better at it, because also you have to act with your hand. You have to have a reaction, and you have to turn, and you have to use the hand, and the hand has to go to the face. So you go like this, and you say the line, and you put the hand on the forehead, and meanwhile you're saying the line with your lips. It was recorded before though, so that you can get good sound quality, but you want to learn them, even though they're pre-recorded, because you want to say them right, you want the lips to match. So that was really fun. So when it came time to film, definitely nervous, wasn't sure how I was going to do. And the very first thing that happens is it's like I'm lying on the floor underneath a bed, sticking my arm up, and I'm like, okay, now it's even harder than I thought it was. And I was like, okay, I got to do this. Maybe the first couple takes were rough, I'm not sure, but everyone seemed very pleased. I was able to pull it off and I was excited about it. So the first day went well. You know, the master puppeteers jumped in a few times to do a couple takes, which was great because we only needed a couple people for my scenes as Lulu. But then I worked another day on set, and it was a day that Lulu, my character, wasn't working. So I was just working as a puppeteer. So I wasn't really sure how the day was going to go. I was like, I'll just be here to hang out. If you need me, I'll jump in. So I got to puppeteer like 4 or 5 other puppets, and they all feel different. Some of them were really small, almost like a sock, right? Like a sock puppet. If you ever made one of those, you know, you stick little pipe cleaners and googly eyes on a sock, and then all of a sudden you have a little guy. So there were like really little ones, and then there were really big ones. There was one where the mouth was almost made of like wood. So it was very hard to maneuver and move him. Sometimes the hands have 2 sticks, sometimes there's only 1, and sometimes another puppeteer will work the other arm. That's pretty common if there's a scene where they need to do a lot of movement, move their little arms, and then you're kind of working together with the other puppeteer while you're doing this, and you're lip syncing, and you're moving your arm, and the other person is like following along and doing similar things. So that was really fun. But yeah, so I got thrown into a few other puppets, and all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, this guy is totally different, but I've learned the mechanics of it. I can kind of get it. So then we're almost done with the day, but we have the big scene to do at the end. And this is the main guy puppet. The main guy puppet. I probably sound pretty ridiculous right now, but you know, I just thought that this was a really cool story because I think everybody likes puppets. So the main guy puppet has to do a walk through a bar. I know, it's a bar. It's not Sesame Street. And it was like it had to go, usually when there was a walk, they were using a skateboard. The puppeteer was getting on a skateboard, and that way, you know, because you have to keep walking, but you have to be like down low, and the puppet has to move, so they put the guy on a skateboard and then he would kind of move it with his feet. But there was a rug, and there was like a turn, and there was a step, and then there was first it went from hard floor to rug, and then there was a bump, and they were like, okay, well, we don't want to have to cut between this and this. How are we going to do this, that, the other thing? And they're trying to brainstorm all this stuff. And I'm the newest of the puppeteers here, but I just said, I think I could do it. Could I give it a try? And they just said, well, how? How can you do it? Keep walking. I said, well, what if I just get down on my heels like this and put the puppet up here and walk with him like this? And as it turned out, no one else could physically do that move And they said, yes, if you can do that, that will make this whole thing easier. Because this is independent film where we didn't have a perfect cart and a perfect set and everything all great. You got to make do. Independent filmmaking, you got to be scrappy and you got to make decisions quick and you got to have fun. It's so much fun. So I got down in my little squat position and I held up the puppet and I walked through the bar and I'm walking on my heels. And then I was thinking, oh, this would be good for a workout. How can I turn this into a workout? I was like, I don't know if I can. I don't know. It's probably not the best thing for your knees. So I'm not sure if I should turn that into a workout or not. We'll see. But for now, I just thought it was a really interesting story. I got this wonderful opportunity to learn how to puppeteer, to do something that, because of my workout and physical strength or flexibility, I was able to do something that the other people weren't able to do, which felt incredible and special and wonderful. And yeah, I got to puppeteer the main guy on the first big entrance of the film. So that concludes my puppeteering story, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you kept walking the whole time. But if you did like this video and like the story, please click like, subscribe to the channel, and then come back and see me for another workout. They are all different. Thank you.